Good afternoon. Yanis Valborn and Holland Racing Team could become WMSC's inaugural champions this afternoon, and only Reuven Meshida and Optimal Esports can stop them. Welcome to round 13 of the World Monoposto Sim Racing Championship 2023 from America's National Park of Speed, Road America, near Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Will this also be the road to the title? We're about to find out. We'll go through the permutations for both championships in just a second. But first, the weather for this vital, potentially title deciding race weekend. And it's going to be dry once again, but temperature's a little bit cooler, only 12 degrees for qualifying and 13 for the race. So tyre management should be all good. But it might be a bit cold if it may be coming out of the pits on cold tyres. It could be a slightly interesting race afternoon. So let's go through the title permutations with the man to help it watch it all unfold. Good afternoon, Mr. Robin Ciuman. How are you?
Hi, thank you, Mr. Ashbaker. Great to be here, and yeah, let's just go quickly through the championship permutations. I hope we got them all right. We both double checked them. So currently, the gap between our top three in the championship is exactly 18 points. After today's race, there is 20 points still available, so that means that Yanis Wulbol needs to outscore Meshida and Pushka by 3 points to win the championship here today. Well, one thing we can say for sure is Philip Pushka, unfortunately, is on holiday, so yeah, he can't race today. So yeah, today the fight is mainly between Yanis Wulborn and Reuven Meshide, like it has been for the last few races. And let's maybe also look at the Constructors' Championship. And I hand back over to you, Ash, because you did the maths for this one.
Yes, and hopefully, again, the maths is correct. So the gap between Holland and Optimal going into Road America is 48 points. After today, there will only be 36 points left. So the onus is on Optimal to outscore Holland today. They need to outscore Holland Racing Team by 13 points to stay in the Constructors' fight. If Holland score 6 points today, they will win the Constructors' Championship regardless of what Optimal do. So the Constructors, it's more of a mountain to climb for Optimal, but considering how well Reuven Meshter has been performing over the last couple of races, he's still got every chance to keep the title fight alive going into Brazil. So that's how it's set up. We will remind you of those things throughout the afternoon, but now we head out for qualifying. It's already started a 20-minute session, and as mentioned, it's a cloudy day, a cooler day. As ever, WMSC issues this forecast before each race. It's based on the statistical data of the location in the respective month and was prepared by neutral persons. So they've all had chance to prepare and practice for these conditions. It'll be interesting to see if we see, because most of them kind of vary between the soft and the medium tyre. It'll be interesting to see if maybe with these cooler temps we see a few more soft tyres getting broken out this afternoon.
Yeah, they're all currently setting their first laps in today's qualifying session. We have already seen Yanis Wulborn having his lap time probably deleted as he went wide after turn 1. We will probably see this a couple of times today, as turn 1 really invites you to run wide. This one here as well, ahead of the carousel. So therefore, Reuven Meshide will be the first one to set a lap time here today.
We are reliably informed as well that both Reuven Meshida and Yanis Volborn, as they have been over the last few races, sandbagging before the race, not really showing their true pace in practice in the build-up. And it might happen again today, and another little potential wide moment there on the exit of Canada Corner, turn 12. So yeah, we're expecting again a little maybe cagey start to this qualifying session, and then to get quicker and quicker again, pushing it on the exit of the final turn. But also remember, they're burning off the fuel as well. They're starting on race fuel, and they are burning it off. So the more laps they do, the lighter their car is going to be. There's no limit on how many laps they can fit into this 20 minutes. As Meshida, already a second clear of his teammate Murno, splitting the Optimals. Knezovic and Heyman are pairing for Scuderia Cesario again this afternoon. Aaron Curtis coming in to split them. And times are going to tumble quite heavily in these first few minutes for sure, as everyone kind of finds their limit. And Machado, take a picture. Potenza Esports ahead of the champion-elect. Wide into turn one. Yeah, track limits could be rearing its head again this afternoon, as it did in Monza.
But interestingly, as we were talking about track limits already, I was pretty sure that Machado ran wide out of the final corner and had all four wheels off the road, but still his lap time counted, and also Yannis Bourbon's lap time, who was clearly off in turn one, did still count, so maybe track limits not that strict here on Road America. The track limits penalties get, of course, issued, as it always was, by the game itself. And
Ooh.
there as well, Gonzalez Cativo. That was definitely all four wheels outside of the white lines. But still, that lap time counts. But yeah, surely he didn't gain any advantage out of the final corner there.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if car runs wide and keeps the foot in it, if that would have counted, as Meshta goes into the high 1 minute 31s. Wallborn, more representative time, as the 10th off. These two have been close in the final practice. Lucas Murno into the pits. Whoa, and there's very wide out there. One of the SCMM cars. It'll be Victor B. We'll have to see if B's lap does still stand, because that was incredibly wide. I'd be surprised if that still stands. That's very much an interpretation of turn one. Good afternoon to everyone who's joined us already on the chat. Great to see you. Paul, Remy, Dom, and Diomi. Good afternoon to you all. Thanks for joining us on a potentially title-deciding afternoon. The Road America never hosted a Formula One race, but a staple of IndyCars, WMSC, or IMSA, however you say that. And over the years hosted 3 NASCAR races, one in 56, and then 2 recently in 2021 and 22, before being replaced by the Chicago Street Race. So, if you're mainly a European motorsports fan, you follow Formula One, you might not be as familiar with Road America. Fantastic circuit. We will get you as up to speed with it as we can throughout the course of the afternoon.
Yeah, and as you said, Ash, as it is not really a Formula One track that we're racing on, there might be the question, where are the DRS zones for some of you in the chat? So DRS zone is, of course, the pit straight, obviously. And then as we are just going with Pascal Polens on board, there is the detection zone for the second DRS zone, and coming up under the bridge here is where the drivers can open their rear wing if they are within 1 second of the car ahead, and of course all the time in qualifying. Oh yeah, that feeling I know very well indeed there. Pascal Polens running wide into turn 5, very tricky to get right, the braking zone there.
Yeah, I think this is a great addition to the calendar, not one that is it's not necessarily a given in world or maybe more Eurocentric series. Sure, yes, definitely, and a nailed on one for the Americas. So to see it in a series like this, I think it's a great choice, as was Watkins Glen earlier in the season. I think 2 great American circuits that aren't in Florida car parks. Just a very, very interesting distinction about these 2 great circuits. They're not in Florida car parks. Just I'll mention that. Yannis Volborn, only 0.04 of a second between them. Those times will come down. They burn off the fuel. The track will get grippier throughout the session. Max Heyman into the top 5. Oh, Max Heyman incredibly wide into turn 1.
In the meantime, Dylan Fisher moved up to 4th to create a optimal sandwich with a double Holland Racing Team filling. So Polens and Fisher might also be very interesting to watch, as they will, of course, try to support their respective teammates in the fight for the Drivers' Championship.
And Curtis coming across the line after a quicker middle sector, but a very slow first one. It is slight improvement, but staying where they are. They do seem very comfortable going wide. I think there probably is going to be a limit on that turn one, but obviously that track limit just doesn't end at the white line. Definitely have to keep an eye on that throughout the course of the afternoon.
Yeah, but I think this is lenient with how you usually see cars drive there at this track. And oh yeah, as pointed out in the chat right now, there is a new livery for Infernal Void. We've just seen it there. We had white, black, and orange livery before. Now it's all black and orange.
Doing their own dark mode this afternoon. Very
Yeah.
nice. Infernal Void have had a really good season. Really solid in the fight. In the good midfield battle. Still trying to hold off SCMM. Maybe shut down the gap to Maniti, who are not represented, so they could still get into the top four. Epic Basilia might just be too far away to pose any problems, even though we only have one Epic Basilia car this afternoon in the form of David Yunt in the pits, yet to set a time by the looks of it. I wonder if they're going to leave it to the last second, or if he's just going to accept a back row start. Fisher up on his previous best by 2/10, but down by 6/10. Powering through the Bill Mitchell bend, and it's Knezovic just behind. Same section of track. Passes where the detection zone is for the start-finish straight. Going up the hill. This looks like it's going to be an improvement. How much is it going to be? Well, incredibly, a purple final sector for Alexander Knezovic, and ahead of Dylan Fisher. Scuderia Cesario cars looking pretty pacey this afternoon so far. Knezovic has been solid since joining Scuderia Cesario full time. Managed to score points in every single race with them to this point. As Poland's getting a little squirmy on the final corner, but power down, heading towards the line. Is this going to be an improvement? Could this challenge? It's another fastest, and it's a fantastic final sector that pulls together a very quick lap. 1:31.8. Times are definitely dropping. Remember, Pascal Poland's, even though he didn't technically get pole last time out in Monza, he was behind Filip Puška. Puška suffering a penalty for blocking. So Poland's starting from first on the grid. Yet to win a race this season, Pascal Poland's. He's been fantastic throughout the season, but yet to pick up his first win. Could it be this afternoon?
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. He had a lot of strong races, but unluckily for him, these strong races were always races where Holland Racing Team in general were not too strong, so always the races where they were struggling. He really had some great performances, but it was not enough to win a race. But this today might be his chance.
Absolutely, and he had a chance last time out in Monza. Fortunately, penalties for both the Holland Racing Team guys kind of really changed the shape of that race quite dramatically. In the end, it was a bit of damage limitation. Optimal ending up with another 1-2. Oh, Daniel Benton Reader very wide. So let's see. That'll be very interesting to see if this lap does indeed get counted across the line. It does, but obviously he's not really gained that much after being quicker in the first two sectors down in the last one. Mateus Machado now, Potenza Esports. On an improvement here. Towards turn 14, the final corner. Much more tidy exit in comparison. Will it send him up the table, cross the line? And it does not. Good afternoon as well to everyone just joining us. We have Yanis Volborn on board now. Already purple in the first sector by 0.3 of a second. It'll be a very, very interesting lap indeed. I believe we're just coming into Canada corner now, turn 12. End of that second sector still ahead, but the gap much reduced. 0.06 of a second, just one corner to go now. Clips the apex, runs it out perfectly. That's a very tidy turn 14 indeed. Charge towards the line. Is this going to be provisional pole position? It is. And by 0.4 of a second from his teammate. Coming into the last 5 minutes now, everyone is going to start showing their hand. Times are going to start dropping. Daniel Benton Reader now. Missing from Monza, back this afternoon. Great to have him across the line. That's one more position over ahead of Max Heyman. Very much far from done. Curtis now. For Infernal Void. I think it's the exit of the carousel. Charging down. It's technically a back straight, but a few turns in it, including the kink and kettle bottoms. And on the brakes into Canada corner. We're down through this little stretch, which is called Thunder Valley. I'm not joking. Also, it's a very, very small stretch, but yep, Thunder Valley. We are definitely in America, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Curtis charging towards the line. That's an improvement into the top 10. Just behind teammate Lucas Murno, who we join now and is completing his lap. Also looking on for an improvement. The question is how much? He's only 1/10 behind Heyman. Is it enough to jump ahead? It does. In fact, he jumps Benton Reader as well into 6th place.
Yeah, I was wondering, it was a bit of a long time ago since we saw the last improvement of the Optiminal guys.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if they are holding off at the minute as Pascal Poland's round the exit of the carousel into the kink. Then through this gentle left-hander known as kettle bottoms. As we discussed before the race off air, is not technically classed as a corner, even though if we stay on board with Pascal Polands, you'll see a part that is technically classed as a corner that's barely even a turn. But through the final turn we go, and Polands is actually going to peel off. Wasn't a good middle sector for him, so he's maybe going to strap on some fresh tyres and give it one last go. People need to be thinking about their final runs with 3 minutes to go. Dylan Fisher now. Mentioned the lack of Optiminal presence. Here they come. Ready to strike back. On the back straight. Through the kink. Just get through kettle bottoms. It just straightens up a little bit. And then onto the brakes. Seems impossibly late on the brakes. Oh, and Dylan Fisher having to catch a slide there. That might have ruined this lap. Down in the middle sector by 0.2 of a second. But it's very messy. He's keeping his foot in it, but he might have to go again. In the meantime, Reuven Meshta up by 0.03 of a second in the middle sector. He goes incredibly wide, but I think that should be okay based on previous examples. Up to the line we come. Oh, and it's slower.
Yeah, the first and last sector were much slower than the Holland Racing Team guys. I mean, we expect that in the first sector, as it's pretty much flat out long straights. And that is where the strengths of Holland Racing Team lie, but there is not much time to improve for Meshid and Fisher.
Oh, they must be on laps now, so they may have 1 or 2 at the most opportunities. They are going to go for 3 consecutive hot laps. Alexander Knezovic, though, running in 4th at the minute. This could be a fine performance from him, especially if he gets ahead of an Optimal. Out through the carousel we go.
Not surprised Alex feels well here in America. He was last year's AMC champion in the RSL, so he should know his ways around American tracks. So this might be an opportunity for a podium for him here today.
Absolutely, and he's been very solid in all his performances so far, so hopefully bedded in with this Scuderia Cesario car. See if this improvement could bring him into the top 3. That would be a hell of a surprise. It's not. Less than a second away from the pole man. 30 seconds left. People need to be getting onto their fast final laps now. Many may already be on their final laps.
Yeah, just behind Knezo, there is an Optimal car that surely is now on its last lap. Don't know who it is. We can't really see from that perspective. It is Ruven Meshida, yeah.
There we go. Checkered flag is out. Is the final roll of the dice for everyone. For the minute, Yannis Volborn with an ominous 0.4 of a second over his teammate and indeed the rest of the field. Can Ruven Meshida pull it back? This middle sector is going to be the most important one. Into turn 8 before power down and out through the carousel. Entry is turn 9. Exit is classed as turn 10. Round we go. He's got a Scuderia Cesario car just in front of him, and that is Knezovic pulling out of the way through the kink. Full throttle down through Kettle Bottoms. Needs to get the braking just right into Canada corner.
It's close. Good enough for P2 right now, as it stands.
Keep his nerve through these final corners. One more to go. Turn 14. Very good. It's tidy. Oh, there's an Optimal car
Fischer
off the track. Fischer is, well, very interesting to see what happened there. But it is enough on an incredible final sector. Purple, and it's enough to split them. Only 0.08 of a second away from Volborn. Volborn at the minute has enough for pole position in the meantime. Murno's come up to 5th. Fischer's down back in 6th. That's not going to be great for Optimal as a team. And that backup you were talking about. Volborn crossed the line. One final improvement, a 1:31.3. And that is a superb performance from Yannis Volborn. That is one step towards the title. So here is Dylan Fischer. I wonder if he's going to either have some kind of mechanical issue or is he going to lose it coming out of this final turn. He's just missed the apex, trying to keep his foot in it. And parks it on the inside. There was no yellow flags from our screen by the looks of it, so I think everyone was okay to continue with their flying laps. But yes, Yannis Volborn could secure the title this afternoon, but at the minute, if the race finishes like this, it won't be the driver's title, it will be the constructors. Holland Racing Team 1 and 3, sandwiching Ruven Meshida. Alexander Knezovic, a fine 4th place, just ahead of Lucas Murno. Dylan Fischer, unable to improve after that last corner accident, staying in 6th. Max Heyman in 7th. It's Better Julia's in 8th and 9th, with Aaron Curtis rounding out the top 10. Then we have Gonzalez Cativo, Mateus Machado, Victor B, and David Yunt not setting a time, bringing up the rear. So, it could be a very, very interesting race. We could see one or both championships decided, but at the minute, Ruven Meshida is in the position to keep things going, and it is by no means over. We're going to have a short break, and then it will be lights out very, very soon. Welcome back. We are just minutes away from lights out in this potentially title-deciding race from Road America, Wisconsin. No penalties to inform you of, so the grid you saw at the end of quali is the grid we are going to start with in a moment. And just a reminder, the tyre situation, everyone has to pick between two sets of tyres. It seems like once again, everyone is on the same set. They have the choice between the medium and the super soft tyres. And it looks like, from first impression, everyone's gone for the mediums. It's a slightly cooler afternoon than we've seen in the past previous races. Ambient temperature 13 degrees. So we did wonder if we'd see people risk super softs, if it's, hopefully not going to deg as much, but everyone sticking with the mediums so far. So let's run through that starting grid one more time ahead of this all-important race. Pole position, Yanis Volborn, a fine lap indeed. Reuven Meshida coming forward with a great lap to split the two before the very, very end. Pascal Polens in third. Alexander Knežević, a fine fourth place for him. Lucas Murno and Dylan Fisher make up row number 3. Fisher losing it on the exit at the final turn, not able to improve from there. Max Heyman and Daniel Benton-Reeder on row 4. Denny Vella and Aaron Curtis make up row 5. While Gonzalez Cativo and Mateus Machado, two teams yet to score points this season, hoping that they can take advantage of some chaos ahead and have some solid drives this afternoon. Victor B 13th and David Yunt starts 14th after deciding not to set a time in qualifying. So, they make their way around. Oh, and David Yunt hasn't joined the track, so I wonder if this is going to be a full-on pit lane start for David Yunt. Some movement, so I believe we are going to see him on track this afternoon. And once again, thank you to everyone who has joined us for the stream this afternoon. It's great to have you. Hopefully settle in for a good afternoon of racing. Again, it seems like it's going to be close between Holland and Optimal. And remember, those title permutations once again for the constructors. Optimal need to outscore Holland by 13 points. If Holland scores 6 points, they've done enough. At the minute, they are in position to steal the title. As for the Drivers' Championship, Volborn needs to outscore Meshida by 3 points to seal it today. And remember, this is the old F1 style top 8 score points. So it's 10 for a win, 8 for second, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep you informed as things change throughout, but the grid is lined up. The revs come up, the lights come on, and away we go in Road America. David Yunt temporarily into the lead as he waits at the end of the pit lane. It's a long run down to turn 1. But at the minute, it looks like Yanis Volborn has done enough, and Pascal Polens is at the inside as well. Everyone going to run a little bit wide into turn 1. Everyone jostling, but everyone keeping it clean so far. Knežević having a little look. Oh, but Meshida is back in front of Polens. What a quick switch around that was. And it is Volborn from Meshida, from Polens, from Knežević, from Benton-Reeder. That's your top 5, but Benton-Reeder having to fight off Murno. Murno looking to come around the outside in the dark mode Infernal Void car. And they go 2 by 2. Murno just, there's no space there and having to back out. There's an opportunity for Fisher to maybe make his way back up. He's going to want to get back in the fight. Really important for both constructors and drivers to see if he could play a helping part. And Murno has lost out of place there. Max Heyman at the minute taking up the last of the points paying positions as they jostle through and head into the carousel for the first time, and Heyman going a little bit wide. Lighting up the tyres on this first lap.
Murno will surely be complaining a bit about Daniel Benton-Reeder. They were very wide there after turn 5, I think it was, at the end of that long straight.
You have to wonder if he's had enough alongside to be entitled to space. A little look up the inside there. This is the second, so this is Curtis now following Denny Vella with a better Julia, looking to try and get past. but everyone away and everyone through. Now, has David Yunt just not joined the race? It still says he's in the pit.
I didn't see him there, so I think, yeah, indeed, he's still somewhere behind these trucks. Yeah, there he is.
I wonder what the thinking is for that in terms of, he's obviously not DNF'd, but he's there with us this afternoon. So I wonder what the situation, if we will see him at all this afternoon. But at the minute, we have 13, unlucky for some, flying forward, and that's a great move from Dylan Fisher, stepping out from behind Daniel Benton Reader, and that's really important. He wants to get and join that top 4. So just Alexander Knezovic to try and clear now. Really solid start from Fisher. Wants to have a bearing on the results this afternoon. Going to need to try and get clear. And we have had a little message from race control. We get them to us. Sorry, you can't hear them, but we will relay them to you. Daniel Benton Reader given a final warning for that on-track altercation with Lucas Murno. Rightly called there, Robin.
Yeah, so surely the drivers have the opportunity to take incidents to race control. They surely had a look at that and deemed it a bit unfair by Benton Reader, but not enough to justify a penalty. And I think that is a fine call, because it is the opening lap, and Mano, he lost the position to Dylan Fisher as well, but as we see Dylan Fisher, who has moved up a great deal already, and he's just behind Alexander Knezovic, and I guess he will be able to open his rear wing right now, and then maybe he can already attack the Cesario ahead of him. Yeah, surely he will try something now, but Knezovic late on the brakes and manages to hold on to 4th. Well done by Alex.
Yeah, it wasn't as easy work as Daniel Benton Reader the lap before. Excellent bit of defence, just, outbraked and held it very well. Good, respectful racing, and now Dylan Fisher might have to wait another lap to try and get the move done. And the gap is already 5 seconds, 6 seconds in fact, between Fisher and the leading Yannis Volborn, but that top 3 separated by just a second. Fisher's going to be itching to want to join the party for sure.
Yeah, and he's losing a great deal of time here behind Knezovic. The gap is already 6 seconds to the leader. Knezovic is about a second a lap slower than those at the top. And right now it's a bit of a difficult situation also for his teammates, who will have 2 Team Holland cars to battle with, especially considering the pit stops. This is an unfortunate situation to be in for Ruven Meshida, and remember, he needs to finish second if Yannis Volborn wins to at least theoretically stay in the championship fight. I mean, even in this situation, if they finish like they are running right now, Ruven needs to win the last 2 races, while Yannis scores in neither of them, to win the championship. And even then, it's only he's only able to win it on countback. So Ruven needs to make a move now to realistically stay in the championship here.
Absolutely, and it's all with Yannis Volborn and Holland Racing Team. They don't need to take any risks. They could easily just hold station now, and they don't have to try anything ridiculous and risk it going sideways. So yeah, the onus is on Meshida, and he's going to be hoping that Fisher can make a move on Knezovic, but they're all very close together at the minute, and straight line speed of those Holland Racing Team cars, how they've developed the car all season long, helping protect from the DRS Ruven Meshida at the minute.
This is also something car development. We haven't talked about this today, I believe. So Holland Racing Team had some updates made to their car, but Optimal seems to be saving their points that they have available to upgrade their car for next season. So they might already be thinking ahead. Fisher just moved past Knezovic.
Oh, that must be DRS move into turn 1. Just looking at the lap times as well, the top 3 are head and shoulders race pace-wise ahead, but Fisher...
Oh, sorry, look at the background. Benton Reader is trying to make a move on Knezovic as well. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No problem at all, and Knezovic has placed the car well, and they leave the space. Oh, a little tapping of wheels. Don't think that was a deliberate squeeze, just a little squirm of the car, and that means Benton Reader's had to back out. And has that pushed Benton Reader back into the clutches of Murno behind? Murno crawling all over the back of the Better Julia. Murno switching to the inside. Oh, but just deciding against it there. Seized a potential moment. Murno looking to try and get through, and that has just given Knezovic a little bit of breathing room. Vulnerable after being taken by Fisher. Fisher already a second down the road from Knezovic. Oh, we're joined on board now with Max Heyman, who's got a front row seat to Murno versus Benton Reader. Let's see if someone is going to make a move as we pass the detection zone through the final turn. And up the hill we go. DRS only just being active now, just before the bridge. See already. Straight line speed. The Cesario losing out a little bit of ground to those 2 cars ahead. But everyone holding station this time around. I know, very wide there, but at the minute, I'm not seeing much in terms of track limits getting done. So that seems okay. There's a little bit of leeway in that first corner, but obviously if you go too far, I imagine there will be still a limit. It's just not to the white line right there. And
contact!
And Murno in big trouble there. He almost seemed to misjudge the closing speed. Benton Reader takes a little bit of hit, and then a squirm from Murno as he tries to get the car back under control. And we will have a look at that again in a moment. But a big moment there from Lucas Murno. Nearly been a lot worse, you have to say.
Yeah, it looked like to me out of that corner that he got a little bit too early or too much on the throttle and almost lost the car there and therefore swerved into Heyman a bit. Let's look what happened. Oh.
Wow. It just misjudged the braking and the closing speed there. And Benton Reader just slow on the apex, and Murno's managed to tag him. And Race Direction has now also issued a final warning to Murno for that incident. So both of them now being given a slap on the wrist for altercations with each other. So you're going to have to keep it clean from now on. Join the top 3 again. Still only a second separating them. I wonder if there's just a little bit of the long game being played at the minute. Like, Mestre is still very close, but obviously doesn't seem to be chomping at the bit to get a move done.
Murno passed Benton Reader in the meantime. Just seen that on the timing tower, and Benton Reader back past Murno.
Oh! And they're still side by side. It looks like they've been going all the way through turns 5 and 6 as they head into turn 8 before the carousel, and Benton Reader back ahead. Grab you that again in a second as well, but these two having a really interesting afternoon in the first 7 laps, and it doesn't seem like it's over yet. Murno looking determined to get past Benton Reader. In fact, he's in a decent position as we head through Kettle Bottoms. Benton Reader going defensive into Canada corner. Oh, they go side by side, or they bang wheels, and that's Benton Reader knocked wide. I wonder if that will be a slap on the wrist there for Lucas Murno.
I don't think he can't afford slap on the wrists anymore, because he already got that final warning. But it might also be that Benton Reader has turned in a little bit on him, and that might even be deemed as a racing incident. Would be interesting to see that from the onboard of Daniel Benton Reader again. Well, quite an interesting lap 7 for these two.
These two are queuing up incidents for us to look at the minute. It's they are making sure that Road America has an interesting afternoon, if nothing else.
But I'm sure it will be very interesting in the top, at latest when we get to the first pit stops.
So this is going to be that incident now down into Canada corner. So you're going to see Lucas Murno appear on the right of your screen. You see him in the mirrors there. And oh, wow, I feel like Murno was maybe just braked a bit late there and they've collided. I don't necessarily would say it's a dive bomb because he was alongside. I'm not sure what you'd call that one.
Yeah, that is really a tricky situation for Race Direction. It feels like he barged him out of the way a little bit, but then he was there, and yeah, very difficult call, this one.
Obviously, Daniel Benton-Reader is going to have a feeling about it. So we now see it on board from Lucas Murno's perspective. And picks his slot very much alongside. Oh, and you know what? From that perspective, I don't feel like it's particularly reckless from Murno. From that perspective, I almost see it as more of a racing incident, but I'm sure Daniel Benton-Reader will absolutely fundamentally disagree. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. That is a really tough call. I don't envy Race Direction if, indeed, Daniel Benton-Reader is protesting that. Oh, and Benton-Reader's back ahead. So I wonder if that was a on-track move, or if Murno has just decided to give that back. We've had no call.
I just received a message in the chat from Race Direction, and they have given Lucas Murno the choice between letting Daniel pass or getting 5 seconds worth of penalties. So Murno obviously chose the first option. And now he has to do it all again, but this time hopefully without contact. So yeah, Race Direction are blaming him for that contact.
It's a tough call. I think you could go either way with it. I think you're supposed to, judge the incident, not the outcome. But it's tough. I don't think it was particularly reckless from Murno. But at the same time, he did. They just seem to break at different points, and at that kind of closing speed, when it tagged Benton-Reader wide. I don't necessarily disagree, but that is, as you said, it's a very tough call. One of those tricky, you could argue it either way situations.
Yeah, but I think this is also quite a good solution to it, so no penalty was awarded. Lucas just had to give the position back. Lucas certainly will see it the other way around, and I think he can do that. They both do have a point, but it's great just to see that battle. And now we will have it for a few laps longer. And this is the next opportunity for Murno. Benton-Reader forces him the long way. And Benton-Reader late on the brakes, almost sliding a bit into that corner. This is the opportunity for Murno. He has the inside line for the next one. And surely now he is ahead. And this time it is gonna stick, at least for now. But he won't be asked to give the position back. Murno now finally up into P6. And let's see if he can pull away from Benton-Reader.
Absolutely. And no complaints about that one. A very tidy little switchback from Lucas Murno. Got the power down earlier. Good traction. Managed to get up the inside of turn 6. At the minute, Benton-Reader doesn't seem to have a reply down Kettle Bottoms. He's trying to get at 1 second before the DRS zone. In the meantime, back up the front, Mestre and Volborn, they're just starting to drop Poland's a little bit. And the closing speed coming into turn 1. Look at that. And Mestre looking at a move, but decides against it. Maybe it's going to happen in 1 corner's time. The next DRS zone is right here through the detection into turn 2. Well, technically turn 3. It's turn 2, let's be honest. But there's a track map calls that as turn 3.
Oh, Benton-Reader just dropped 2 places, Heyman and Weller through, so surely has been off the road somewhere.
Oh, we'll revisit that in a second and find out what happened. But Mestre looking at it, but no, heavy on the brakes. And not this time around. And it looks like he's pressing the issue a little bit more now. Trying to force something. Well, in the meantime, Pascal Polans still in touching distance, still in DRS range of Mestre. So here is Daniel Benton-Reader. So is he going to drop this by himself? I wonder, because he's definitely not. And yeah, just on entry, that's almost what exactly Dylan Fisher did. clipped the grass on the entry into the final turn, missed the apex, and then he's just had to back out of it. And he lets through Max Heyman and his teammate, Denny Vella. Oh, that's unfortunate for Daniel Benton Reader. It's been a tough couple of laps. Hopefully he can fight his way back up. Rejoin this fight 0.6 of a second as they exit the final turn. Knowing how good the straight line speed of that Holland Racing team car is, I don't think Janis Volborn is going to be too worried as of yet.
Yeah, Mashida was really close towards turn. Okay, that is.
That's a slight.
Did you see what I see?
Yes, I think
Where
that's a
is
slight
he?
technical issue. Okay.
Where
How
is
very odd.
Mashida? Is he out?
No. Do not tell me Reuven Meshida has just disconnected. No. Has that just decided the WMSC title? That would be such a shame for it to end this way. But Reuven Meshida is out. We will try and find out what happened for you there, but it's plagued Philip Pushka the past couple of rounds. And now Reuven Meshida may have just fallen of it as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that has decided both championships. All Volvo needs to do now is finish 7th or better. Sorry, 6th or better, but I'm sure he'll be able to do that.
Well, that's so unfortunate. But that's incredible. It happened in the past 2 rounds to Philip Pushka, and now it's happened to Reuven Meshida. Incredible. Well, we still have a race on this afternoon, but that might be the titles done and dusted.
I think it might even be that the team championship is now already decided because Optimino, with only one car, can't score enough points to outscore. Yeah, they need to outscore.
Oh, and Meshida's
is
back.
Meshida going again?
He's going to carry on. Well, fair play. Is he going to be a lap down?
Looks like it. It says 1 lap to the leader. I think he's 1 lap down on the entire grid now. But yeah, at least he's going again. So that is at least good to see.
Such a shame for him, but maximum respect for him to just get back out there, carry on, and see what he can do. And hell, this is going to give us something interesting to watch, because how far can Reuven Meshida recover? Can he recover enough to stop Janis Volborn? It's highly unlikely, but there's still a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, we could see a safety car maybe. Maybe he will then be allowed to unlap himself, and then, well, so yeah, definitely very good on him to not give up and to carry on here, even if he is a lap down. But yeah, that is really some good spirit he's showing here.
So an interesting question now. So obviously he's had the unfortunate disconnect and rejoined. Has he rejoined with the car in the exact condition it was when he disconnected? Is he on fresh tyres? What's the idea of, I'm not sure what the procedure is with this. I'd imagine he's coming back out and picking up where he left off from, albeit a lap down. But yeah, if anyone has any experience of kind of what happens should you rejoin after a disconnect, that would be good to know. Because maybe he's got a fresh set of medium boots on just to at least help him in his recovery. Yeah, here we go. He's out and flying, and we'll see what his representative pace is. He's not set an official lap because that was an out lap, so we'll see what his pace is out the back. See the size of the task he has ahead of him.
Wilborn, in the meantime, has pulled a gap of almost 2 seconds on his teammate. And this is the most interesting battle that we have on the track right now. That is for P6 between Max Heyman and Danny Weller, who, after that moment for his teammate and the, well, DNF, short DNF for Ruben Meschede, he's now running in 7th and back in the points.
These two, Beta Julia and Scuderia Cesario, running 7th and 8th, respectively, in the Constructors' Championship. And Scuderia have had, so many drivers driving for them this season. Oh, and Victor B at the SCMM car in the wall and a wing lost. He's managed to keep going, so that won't be a safety car, but an incident there. We'll get a replay.
It was Canada corner, right? So
yes, it was. So he's very near. I mean, has he just lost it? Just tried to power out of it and into the wall heavily. Machado staying out of the way. And B, I think, just waits for a moment there to get clear. Spin it round. That's unfortunate, but he is still going. SCMM currently 6th, ahead of Beta Julian Scuderia Cesario. So there is an opportunity with the limited points available for Beta Julia and Scuderia to maybe close up. There are only so many points left. It could be a very good afternoon for Scuderia Cesario if their drivers stay where they are now. This could be an interesting fight between the two Beta Julias and Max Heyman. Just holding station, but DRS will see how much Beta Julia have in reserve to attack. This is Max Heyman's 4th race of the season.
Aaron Curtis in the pits, and this seems to be the first scheduled pit stop.
Got B confirmed as DNF, so B is calling it a day after that incident.
Yeah, I'm sure there was more broken to the car than just that front wing. Oh, there we might see a switch between the two Beta Julias.
As Ruben Meschede sets a new fastest lap in the clear air. Just a reminder, he is still hunting everyone down. Yeah, that looks like a very coordinated switch. Benson Reader obviously was running higher, had qualified higher, so maybe Benson Reader the person best placed to try and attack Max Heyman. And immediately pulling right up to the back of the Scuderia Cesario. So yeah, as mentioned, this is Heyman's 4th race of the season. His best finish, 9th, was last time out in Monza. It could be on for points for the first time. Would be an all-important double points finish. Scuderia Cesario, I believe it would be only their 2nd double points finish of the season. Or their 3rd double points finish of the season after South Africa, round 2, round 11 at Silverstone. So, important afternoon for them. Lucas Murno, I'm sure, will be doing his best to try and chase down Knežević ahead. So Curtis has come out again on the medium tyre, so it is likely we're going to see medium tyres all afternoon. It was lap 16, I believe. See how much... Even Meschede, 132.1. Quicker and quicker out the back. He's having fun out there. The minute Max Heyman is doing a solid job of just keeping the Beta Julias at bay, even since the switch, actually. Daniel Benson Reader is not automatically climbing over the back.
Yeah, it almost looks as though the Beta Julias are seriously lacking straight line speed. I haven't even seen them pretty close to Heyman. The point where they are the closest is in the corners or more technical bits of the track.
And it's very interesting, both of these cars' initial design, Scuderia Cesario's is described as high downforce. Better Julie is described as very high downforce. So, yeah, they're both not the quickest in a straight line, but at the minute, it's oh wow, what a big slide out the exit of the final turn there from Daniel Benton Reader. At the minute, they are struggling to get close enough on the straights. So, I imagine we'll see them close right up through this middle sector. Heyman just needs to keep doing what he's doing at the minute. Benton Reader clearly trying to push as hard as he can to get that gap closed down. Minute, Revan Meshida is lapping about a second a lap faster than the leaders, having set the fastest lap of the race. And in comes Mateus Machado. This must be a second scheduled stop, so I think we'll see more very soon. It's an interesting time for the stop. You can almost think it's a little bit early for a one stop, but it's also not. It's not far off the window for a one stop either. I do wonder if the car stopping now are already committing to a two stop, but I can imagine the leaders just trying to do this as a one stop race.
Yeah, I fully agree with you there. I think Curtis and Machado, that they are on a two-stop. Because that will be a pretty long second stint if they try to make it on one.
Oh, Benton Reader pushing so hard to try and shut that gap, and that's again, he's gone wide. And at the minute, Vella's right behind, and Vella, well, they switched before, but they switch back now.
Now I'm afraid they won't even have DRS from Heyman. Gap is too big now.
Meshta goes into the 131s now. In comparison, the last lap by Yanis Volbon was a 33.5. So I almost think that that's got to be fresh rubber on Meshida's car. Because though, you know, I think he was here for a substantial amount of time. Sure, he's in free air, but there's got to be grip, like fresh grip, to be able to do that now at this point in the stint, surely.
Yeah, I think if he's able to go almost 2 seconds a lap quicker than Wilborn, he would have passed him while he was still behind him.
So Meshta's going to be very much out of sequence by the time he needs to do his stop. His final stint, he'll be able to go full push because he'll be much shorter. So it's a good opportunity. He could still find himself in the points this afternoon. He's got a lot of work to do it. We will keep an eye on where he ends up when he starts to catch up with the back of the pack.
Wella, in the meantime, climbed back into the DRS window of Max Heyman, which, well, shows that apparently the two Better Julias are able to go quicker, and quite substantially quicker even than Max Heyman, but they just don't find a way past him.
I wonder if Benton Reader, because he's had to do a lot more fighting in this first stint, maybe his tyres are slightly worse for wear, so he's trying to push, and that's why we're seeing a little bit out of control, whereas Vella has had a much quieter, flown under the radar for this first part of the race. So actually, he's now able to kind of push, and he's still got the grip at his disposal, because, yeah, he's much closer now, and this is going to be the section of the track where you'd imagine the Better Julias are quicker. So right up behind Max Heyman. Has a little look out, just to get him thinking in his mirrors through turn 8. And then now round the carousel we go. Little feathering of the throttle mid-corner. Very stable. Oh my goodness, just running a little bit wide. Edge of your seat stuff. Through the kink we fly. And not close enough into Canada corner, but if he can stay this distance away, there might be a chance coming down the straight. And he's much tidier there. Through Canada corner, through Thunder Valley. Again, it sounds ridiculous to say it, but that is what it's called. But then into turn 14. And the gap is only 0.4 of a second. So let's see what the closing speed is like. See, there's just before the DRS opens, you can see the Scuderia Cesare was just starting to pull away, and it's closer, 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 and he's going to have a look. But it's not close enough, and it's not like the straight isn't long enough. As you can say, it's just there isn't quite enough oomph in that Better Julia to get through, so not quite there. Remember, every driver has push to pass at their disposal as well, but obviously got to think about when to deploy that. So gonna have to line back up for another run. Benton Reader now goes behind again.
Would be awesome if we had some team radio to listen what is going on. Let me try it. Come on, I can go quicker.
So you've had a go. I want to go. It's like, no, you've had a go. We've let you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what is also an issue on Road America is that all of the braking zones where you could try to make a move are slightly downhill. That is true for turn 1, but it's especially true for turn 5. So every inch that you brake later, well, has a much bigger effect as the danger of running wide or going too deep into the corner. Is immense, and now there is the attempt for the undercut. So
I was just looking. We are just a couple of laps away from the halfway point. So this is probably we're about to see a flurry of activity for pretty much everyone apart from those who've already stopped, which was Mateus Machado and Aaron Curtis, and for Ruven Meshida, who we believe after his disconnect is on fresh tyres. So everyone else is probably about to pile in. So we'll see what the power of the undercut is like. There's already some pit crews out, so we're probably expecting a Holland Racing Team car at any moment. Solid stop. Let's see what Denny Vella can do. Benton Reader has managed to fill up the gap and get close to Heyman quite quickly. Interesting to see if either of these are going to stop. Up the front, Poland's has managed to shut the gap. It was up to 2 seconds. It's down to 1.5 seconds.
wow.
It'll be interesting to see what order they do things in.
Yeah, this was something I just wanted to say. I've only seen that in the timing tower, but Danny Weller just came out ahead of Aaron Curtis. They had an opportunity towards turn 5, but Danny Weller managed to stay in front.
The last thing he needs if he's trying to undercut Max Heyman is to fight with Aaron Curtis. You know, Curtis already stopped. He's going to be on slightly used rubber by now, but it's still going to be fresh and it's going to be vitally up to temperature. I think Vella has done enough.
Oh, Heyman and Benton Reader in at the same time. That's now a battle of the pit crews.
And that is something that the teams can spend development points on, so not every single pit crew is going to be the same speed. So we'll see who has decided to put development into increasing their pit stop speed.
Oh, beautiful. And they're right next to each other. This is going to be very interesting. And then we can see on the right-hand side over the crest, surely there will be Danny Weller arriving very soon. No, he's nowhere. There he is.
Oh,
Fighting
wow.
with Aaron Curtis. The undercut didn't work at all.
And a much quicker pit stop there for Max Heyman. So he's got space even over Daniel Benton Reader. And yes, Vella, that very much hurt him. Fighting with Aaron Curtis. And Curtis hasn't exactly, lost ground to Vella. Still very much with Better Julia driver.
And this could be down to the track temperature, actually. We have talked about it at the beginning of the race, that it's pretty cold. Well, it's autumn, and it's autumn in Wisconsin as well, so it might take a while for these tires to get into the temperature window that they need to perform at their best. Knežević now into the pits as well.
Indeed. So that, yeah, it may be a case here that actually the overcut would be more powerful. It would be interesting to see what order Holland Racing Team send their drivers in. Still only a second apart. Dylan Fisher having to come clear of early traffic 14 and straight out onto the racing line. I think it's only that yet solid yellow line that they need to stay within. I think the dotted line might be just if there's cars immediately with you, but as we've seen, cars just ducking straight out across.
Yeah, and I think it actually is difficult to get the tires into the temperature window as well. And now was very close. Now the gap has increased a little bit, but he was very close to Daniel Benton Reader, who came out ahead of him with quite some distance. But now Danny Weller is just there again. And
Yes.
Pascal Polens is within 1 second of his teammate again.
It'll be very interesting to see what order they go in. Obviously, we're past half distance now, so the longer they run now, the shorter their second stint needs to be. Fly through down the run, the Moraine sweep. Poland's with the DRS open, but not looking like he's going to challenge his teammate at this point in time. They could be on their way to their perfect ceiling of both championships. If maybe a safety car happens, if Dylan Fisher can somehow pull the gap in, could Reuven Meshta get brought back into play? He's still lapping in the mid 1 minute 32s. Almost a second a lap faster than the two cars you are seeing on screen right now. Wonder how much they're going to try and extend this first stint.
We were almost able to already congratulate them on winning the Constructors' Championship, but seeing that Reuven Meshta is now, at least theoretically, back in the race, we can't do that as... Oh, and Poland is the first one to go into the pits. Well, we've seen that. This does not instantly mean that, they will be ahead when Wilborn makes his stop. So, there goes Poland's.
Interesting to see where he rejoins as Fisher comes in just behind.
Mono as well.
Might get to rejoin in a nice bit of clear air at this rate. Shout out to Gonzalez Cativo running in 6th. Obviously, he stopped earlier, so he's out of sequence with everyone else at the minute. We are expecting him to need to stop again.
Oh, that's Meshta ahead of Pascal Polens again.
This is the opportunity that Meshta needs to try and unlap himself. So hopefully by the time Yannis Volborn stops, might get back onto the same lap, and it's going to be much tighter.
Mano's behind Knazovic again. Oh, he's let Polens through.
He's probably going to have blue flags shouting, very much screaming at him, and he might get penalised if he ignores those blue flags. Slightly frustrating, because I'm sure Reuven will feel like he can run with Pascal Polens.
Yeah, he was with a shot of a race win here today again. You know, this is interesting. Yannis Wilborn stayed out for another lap. Of course, we have seen that the undercut, well, it doesn't work with 1 or 2 laps, but he surely can't wait too long, because at some time Polens will have his tires up to temperature, and then he will most likely go quicker than Yannis is going right now. Or is this maybe a bit of an orchestrated switch of position for Holland Racing Team to give Pascal Polens that race win that he lost in Italy? Because as it stands, Wilborn finishing second behind his teammate would also be enough for him to clinch the Drivers' Championship here. There goes Gonzalez Cativo into the pits again. That is a bit of an interesting strategy.
Yeah, I thought he would run a lot longer, having stopped on lap 11. So,
Oh no, no, no! We've got something wrong. Katibu hasn't been in the pits at all. It was Aaron Curtis and Mateus Machado that were into the pits earlier.
yes.
So 11th was the starting position. So yeah, we confused that for a
Oh,
bit.
sorry, my mistake.
Yeah, no worries.
So yeah, that is in time. So Katiba doing well then in his first stint to run up into the points, out in the top 10. Maybe still hoping for a little bit of nonsense ahead of him to get Kostek's first ever points. Just keep his nose clean and hopefully something could come his way. He's only 2 positions away from scoring a point for the first time. And David Yunt, 25 laps down, is off and running. Fine.
Everyone retires now, he still won't be in the points. That is, well, fair play for him to still have a few laps, fill the grid.
I wonder if it was technical or if there was a decision behind it. But either way, David Yunt is out as Dylan Fisher now setting a new fastest lap time. His medium tyres coming alive, 131.8. But yeah, David Yunt on for Epic Basilia. When did Victor B retire? Could he still get ahead of Victor B? I don't know.
Well, he might be, yeah.
Anyway, good to see David Yunt and representation for Epic Basilia this afternoon. They have a nice clean run from here. He'll be on a no-stopper, I imagine. Oh, no, actually, he's on soft tyres, so he will have to stop. So he's just going to go out and have a bit of fun. Maybe he's going to try and challenge for fastest lap. Who knows?
Yanis Wilborn, in the meantime, has come in for his one and only pit stop, or so we suppose.
Well, let's see how close Poland's gets. Quite a long run down the pit lane. Time is tumbling. I hope he's not left it too long for Fisher to be an issue. And I think Poland's, at this rate, might be getting past. Unless it's an incredibly quick stop. I think Poland's is about to appear any second now. Poland's is surely going to get out ahead, comfortably so.
Oh, and there is
Fisher is very close.
No,
and he's
this
having
is
to swing back. Oh, is that Meshides?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Ah.
And once again, we have Meshida and Volborn on the same screen, but unfortunately, a lap apart. Dylan Fisher, the gap 14 seconds to the leader, so he's only 10 behind Volborn, so it's a switch. And as you said, I do wonder if that is orchestrated. And Pascal Poland's, I believe, has just put in the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 31.2. Absolutely flying. And in this order, we might see a perfect afternoon for Holland Racing Team. It will be Pascal Poland's first ever win, and both championships sealed.
Now, I do wonder, there might be an interesting battle for the last or second to last place in the Constructors' Championship, because Kativo, running in 10th for Kostek and Machado, is just a few seconds behind in 11th for Potenza Esports. Let me just check what their highest finish was, if I can find that somewhere. This might actually be the opportunity for their best finish of the season that could decide the Constructors' Championship in favor of any of these two.
That's a very good point. Obviously, these teams will want to, even if not they can't score points, they will want to outdo each other. And it's interesting considering that obviously Curtis stopped early, as did Machado. So there might be a place going ahead, but obviously Machado might have to stop again as well.
Yeah, so indeed, as far as I can see, the best finish for Kostek was 11th in Monaco, but with the DNF of Philip Fekela. Last time out, in Monza, Machado finished 11th as well for Potenza Esports. They both do not have a top 10 finish, so whoever finishes in front of those two puts their team ahead in the championship.
If Curtis does stop again, there might be a scrap over 9th as well. We'll see if those two run longer. But at the minute, Daniel Benton-Reeder has finally caught up once again to Max Heyman after that pit stop. And their battle may be about to resume for 6th place. At the minute, the gap is also slowly coming down between Knežević and Murno as Volborn heads into the 130s, a blistering lap time from Yannis Volborn.
Meshada just peeled into the pits again. I believe this is for his, well, final pit stop.
I imagine so.
But there he is.
We've got over 50 seconds to try and catch up to just Mateus Machado. Such a shame for him with that disconnect, but it's great that he's got back in the car and is going to run and do whatever he can this afternoon. All it needs is one safety car and he'll get back on the same lap and there might be a chance. There's been a few near misses this afternoon. Ruven Meshida might just be hoping that this little battle goes awry, potentially, but Daniel Benton-Reeder now within a second of Max Heyman. Through turn 8, into the carousel. Part of the track where the better Julia should be closing up to that Scuderia Cesario. Can it get close enough for the DRS and the push to pass and help this car get past straight line? To Canada corner we go. Heyman just see the little bit of in the power down a little bit better on the exit. 13, very nice and tidy. Almost a little oversteer there from Benton-Reeder. DRS open. 5/10 at the time when he did open the wing. See, gap closes, the gap closes. Don't think he'll be looking, just use the pace to get a bit closer. And they both run incredibly wide through one. Do the activation. Power down. Down to the Moraine sweep. DRS open again, but at the minute, it's just not going to be quite close enough. He has been closer before, though. And it's going to be about picking the moment for Daniel Benton-Reeder. It'll be interesting to see as well. Denny Vella as well, about 5 seconds back. Can Vella potentially join this party? Should Benton-Reeder start to maybe disrupt Max Heyman's flow a little bit? Now, interesting gaps in ahead of this battle. Yannis Volborn is catching Pascal Polens, and this was the other battle I wanted to refer to. Lucas Murno is catching Alexander Knežević in the fight for 4th. It's not been quick at all, so we could be in for a very interesting fight between these two. Knežević currently after his highest ever finish in WMSC. He's previously finished 5th in Portugal. Lucas Murno has been 4th the past 2 races in a row. He's looking for his 3rd consecutive 4th place finish this afternoon. It could be an interesting fight about to develop between these two.
Yeah, and this is also quite important of a race for Infernal Void for the fight for P5 in the championship. They are just 4 points ahead of SCMM, which, well, only had Victor B in this race to compete, but he's out of it already, so this is a great opportunity to gain a bit on them. There is a longer standing yellow in Sector 1, it's clear now. And the gap between...
Oh, is that a rear wing? That's Aaron
That-
Curtis without a rear wing.
Oh, and that's is then the best. Oh no, yeah, ooh, that happens when you have no rear wing. Easy to lose the car.
And have to be very gentle on this in lap. It's very slow, or are they going to pull over
They
to
are
retire the
retiring.
car?
Are they?
Or are they just pulling to the side? Oh, they're going to try and bring it round. I imagine considering they stopped so early, they're going to have to stop anyway. This might just force the second pit stop if they can keep it round, but it is going to allow Cativo and I imagine Machado through. Potentially even Meshida.
The carousel is gonna be scary for Curtis now. Without a rear wing, yep, and round they go, but they hold it somewhat.
To the inside, and Machado goes through, trying to shut that gap to Cativo, but again, Machado stopping early, so he's going to have to stop again as well. Curtis just very tentative, very careful under braking. We've got, I imagine that looks like it's going to be a car coming to lap them. That the Holland Racing Team car, yep, straight off at Canada Corner. I think that's the smart thing to do, just stay out the way. The right move indeed, almost there. Has managed to nurse this back. Oh, just the Bill Mitchell bend, a very tight, very tight, very light, I should say, left-hander, catching them out. But in goes Curtis. Well done for keeping it going.
Yeah, they might be a bit dizzy after that lap, but they made it. Ever so slightly leaving the track, and then, oof. Yeah, I wonder if it's any worth to continue like that, because surely there's more broken to that car than the rear wing. That was quite a heavy impact.
On the exit there. Apologies for the sound issues that we've had. I believe should be fixed by now, but thank you for sticking with us. The robots have not taken over just yet. You may remain calm.
Well, there might be a Holland Racing Team battle brewing. After the pit stops, the gap between Poland and Wilborn was about 4 seconds. Now it's down to 1.2, the gap. And yeah, it will be interesting to see if they keep position or if they're giving us a little bit of a fight.
I mean, all common sense says they would hold position, but obviously it would be great to see a fight. We've got a potential fight brewing for first if they decide to go for it. Fight brewing for third. For fourth even, and a fight brewing for sixth. So still plenty going on, and there's still what will happen between our two backmarker teams, Cativo and Machado. Cativo now up to 9th, so that will be Costech's best finish if he can hold on for that. Curtis has indeed, as you suggested, decided to retire the car. Unfortunate for Curtis. Meshida up to 11th. He's gained another place. He's slowly on his way back after that early disconnect. But still a long way to go if he's going to finish in the top 10. In the meantime, Murno now right on the back of Knežević, and he's going very wide indeed. Now, through turn 3, you need a nice clean exit. Let's see how much the gap closes up. DRS will come open now. Run down the moraine sweep towards turn 5. I think a bit too far back this time around. I think getting out of shape in turn 1. I don't know, even then, just slightly overshooting. Slow burn for this one. There's going to be an opportunity between these two for sure. Yeah, just under a second. In the meantime, Janis Volborn is with Pascal Polens. So, this will be very interesting. Only half a second. Just over throughout the final corner. Mateus Machado about to get in the way as well. Are we about to see some racing between teammates? Pascal Polens trying to get his first win of the season. Janis Volborn. And DRS is open. Doesn't like a move. Very wide indeed. Into one.
But doesn't this look a bit close to holding position? I mean, the gap was down to 0.4.
Yeah, well, the thing is now, he's been able to close that gap so quickly, we'd have to imagine Walborn would get by quite quick. If he stays behind them, over these next few laps, you'd have to imagine they're staying where they are. Again, be interesting to hear team radio if there is a discussion going on, if it was planned, if the pit stop was orchestrated, or if this is just how it's fallen, and actually now it's, well, I want win number 5. Pascal, no, I want win number 1. Who knows? But it will all work itself out very soon. This Walborn is very close indeed.
Oh, now
no!
this is the opportunity for Benton Reed, and he's through. Oh, did he unsettle Heyman there by having a little look?
I think he did. I think it's almost like he half looked at defending, and then just the car seemed to squirm under braking and wide. And Benton Reader at long last is through past Max Heyman. The question is, can Max Heyman get back? Because we know that the Scuderia Cesario is slightly better on straight line speed, so it might not be over yet. 10 laps to go. Well, we go and we see now, and look at even with no DRS and just a bit of slipstream, Heyman is so close towards Canada corner. I think Max Heyman might come back on the main straight. Both of them getting a little bit out of shape on the exit. Into the final corner we go. Both keep it tidy, power down, yes they do. So, immediately Max Heyman, right to reply, DRS open. See what the closing speed is like. He's coming from a long way back, but he seems to be closing so much quicker. I don't think he's going to be quite there. But if he can keep things tidy through turn 1, and then this little kink is technically turn 2, then into turn 3, might he now have a look at trying to get back the position 1 lap later at the exact place he lost it? DRS open, into the Moraine sweep. Then he might just be a bit too far back, and he is indeed. Benny Vella there in the background, just slowly starting to make his way into view. But the question is, can Benton Reader get clear, or will Max Heyman come back? This is the section of track where the better Julie are much stronger. Through the carousel we go. Gap is down to 0.2 of a second in Yanis Forborn. Oh, now. Is that having a look? Or is that, I'm so close, but I'm not going to overtake you? I'll let you decide. Mateus Machado in for his second pit stop now. We expected a second one from him after stopping so early. So close, Yanis Volborn. There's a flashing yellow in Sector 3. Seems to have cleared itself now. Quite a cluster of cars just coming over the start-finish line.
This is really, really interesting. I would imagine Yanis Volborn closed that gap so quickly that, a on-track battle, Ruben Meshuda is back in the top 10.
And of course, that's as a result of Machado having his second stop. He's through. Well done, Ruben Meshuda. There's still an outside chance at least points today. Right, here we go again. Gap less than half a second as we enter the final corner. Up towards the DRS zone we go. And here we watch the gap close. We watch just for the car language.
No.
Not looking for it. I do wonder if they are holding position. I feel like if that was a rival, Yanis Volborn would absolutely be making a move. Time, Heyman. Very, very close indeed. This battle might run and run. It's all about getting the best exit possible out of this final corner. Benson Reed has been a bit untidy through there a couple of times. And right there he is. And this is a big opportunity for Max Heyman. Already right behind. DRS is going to come open. Benson Reed goes defensive, weaving right across. He won't be able to do that more. And Max Heyman is back ahead. And Benson Reed has got to do it all over again. And Denny Vella is joining the party as well. This fight might run between these two all the way to the end, and Benson Reed just getting a little bit out of shape on the exit of 3.
Well, and this is interesting. It took that mistake from Daniel Benton Reader to allow Max Heyman to slip back through. So whoever is running behind seems to have the same problem. So no matter if it is Benton Reed or Heyman the car behind, the DRS for these two is just not enough to close on the straights properly. And neither of them can pull away once they're in front. So this is very curious. So
one of those interesting combinations of the design philosophies of these two cars and the sort of track this is keeping them quite close together indeed. Meantime, Janis Volborn still behind. Pascal Poland's getting a little bit untidy on the exit there.
And this is now going to be interesting, because I imagine now Janis Volborn, if he really wanted to, would be able to make a move, and he backs out of it. Does he?
I mean, it's really hard to tell if they're holding station. I suspect they are, because if that's a rival Janis Volborn is attempting a move, if they are just holding station, they're at least doing a very good job of trying to make it seem like they're fighting each other. So if that is the case, I appreciate the showmanship. Hopefully, we will, if it does end this way with the 1-2, we'll hopefully get both Holland Racing Team drivers in as our new constructors and drivers champion, respectively. You can ask them. In the meantime, big news: David Yunt is ahead of Victor B after starting 26 laps in. David Yunt will not finish at the back.
He might be even be able to get Curtis, I think.
I can't remember. Poland. I mean, that looks like a bit of a defensive move. I mean, when does them selling the showmanship and them actually fighting for the position begin? I don't know.
but they shouldn't be overdoing it with the showmanship just weaving across the entire straight.
I do wonder. It's hard to tell. It is very hard to tell. Obviously, both tyres now at their best, not at the best. Only a 10th between their last lap times. Janis Volborn, though, critically, the quicker of the two. Lucas Murno, in the meantime, now within DRS range of Alexander Knezovic. Both Scuderia Cesarios having to do a hefty amount of defensive work this afternoon. And we wonder... and Murno sideways out of turn 6. A little bit of time, and not hurt him too much. Very close. If you could stay close all the way through. Even the slipstream from the kink down through Kettle Bottoms is does present an opportunity into Canada Corner, even without it being a DRS zone. Right behind. Don't think he's going to have a look. Remember, he did have an attempt earlier in the race with Daniel Benton Reader, which didn't quite go to plan. And Janis Volborn is through. They have switched, and we'll have to get a replay of that. I wonder if trying to overtake Gonzalez Cativo has affected Pascal Poland's. We will have a look at that and see if that was an actual overtake or a coordinated move. But Janis Volborn is in the lead. And here we go. So at this point, they'll both have DRS. And it's a Hacken and Schumacher at Spa. What a move from Janis Volborn. Well, I'll tell you what, I take it all back. I don't think they were holding station. I think they were just maybe being very sensible about it.
Yeah, I think you may be right. I was sure that it was just a bit of showmanship.
Oh,
What's going on?
oh,
Okay,
bit of a
that was,
moment there.
but
And is this going to be Lucas Murno coming round? And Murno's through, round the outside into turn one. Incredible. Just as we were looking at the replay of the action with Holland Racing Team, Lucas Murno has gone into fourth place and may finish fourth for the third race in a row. Excellent stuff. Can Knežević reply in any way? The gap already up to 7/10 of a second. A couple of important corners, and Murno getting a little bit sideways, but he seems to have carried the speed through well. Up through to the DRS zone we go. About getting the exit from this final corner. Oh, and there is a car. That is...
Oh, is it Junt?
It is Junt. That's happened just by the entry of the pit. I imagine that's exactly what Fisher did. Oh, and Poland's is back ahead. Poland's is back ahead. Oh, they are fighting. The Holland Racing Team cars are fighting with just 4 laps to go. They are going to fight for the win, and it was on the run down the Moraine sweep. Now, all of a sudden, with the last few laps to go, it's all coming alive. Alexander Knežević looking down into the Moraine sweep as well, and he just slam on the brakes to avoid contact. But he hangs on. Oh, it's all kicking off now with just a few laps to go. And this, I imagine, is going to be the fight back. Pascal Poland's tucked in behind, and that looks a bit more routine, I would say.
Yeah, but that might... We really need to ask them, because that almost looked orchestrated. I couldn't remember Yannis Wolvon letting someone overtake him so easily. No attempt to defend the inside, and once again they switch position.
They're just having a bit of fun out there, just giving us a bit of entertainment. Question 1 at the end. Were you fighting or not? We have to know.
So once again, DRS, Poland is close.
I'm going to switch back.
There they go. Once again, another change in race lead. Pascal Poland is back.
So if they're going to keep switching places at the minute, if it keeps doing this once a lap, Poland is still going to be ahead by the time they cross the line. But we'll see if it keeps happening. So, Alexander Knežević now, DRS on Lucas Murno. Again, a little bit far back, has a little look on the brakes. And this is the main fight for Scuderia Cesare. It seems like Max Heyman is finally... He's about a second away from Benton Reader. So, Heyman might be okay in 6th, as long as he keeps his nose clean. And they switch. Oh! Well, that's not a place you do an orchestrated switch at all. Fighting through Canada corner side by side. Oh. Maybe it started out as, okay, we'll hold station.
Oh, that is a big moment.
But I feel like it started to become slightly less organised. Well, Vorborn back into the lead. But Poland's will have another chance, I'm sure, while still being in DRS range. We'll have to have another look at that, but there's not long to go. Less than 2 laps left. And Pascal Poland's back in the DRS range. And ahead they go. Oh, and a little bit of a slide there, but Volborn's going to have a little look on the inside. He bails out of that. I do wonder if they are being allowed to fight, but kid gloves, you know, they just aren't fighting quite as hard because they know it's teammates and they know that there's 2 championships that can get settled this afternoon. Not many chances left as Yannis Volborn charging up.
one thing that we can definitely say is when they enter the final lap of this race, they will have secured the Constructors' Championship, because then definitely it is not possible for Optimal to score enough points today to stay in it. So, at this very moment, the first of two championships is decided as they enter the final lap. Congratulations to Holland Racing Team for winning the Constructors' Championship. The next championship might be decided at the end of this lap, but this race is still not decided yet.
And Volborn has stayed behind there. I wonder if that's slightly tactical, so he can have the last DRS attack on his teammate. Is he going to try and win the title with his 5th win of the season? Although it seems like he's backed off a bit now. I feel like that might be hold position.
I guess this is it now.
Well, I'm very happy for Pascal Polens. He's been fantastic throughout this season, even if most of it's been in a supporting role to his teammate. And he is going to pick up his first win of the season this afternoon, because I feel like Volborn has just hung off. Meantime, the biggest battle that we might still have is, can Knežević do anything against Murno? That's the last DRS zone, so he needs to try and get himself into a position. Oh, sorry, they're even further in the lap than I thought. That's through Carousel, so it's now through in towards Canada Corner. Oh, Pascal Polens goes wide! Are they going to try and run formation over the line? I think they might be about to run together. Well, history's about to be made. Your inaugural Drivers and Constructors Champions, Pascal Polens, is, I believe, going to come across the line to win. He does. And alongside him in second place is the first ever Drivers Champion of the WMSC, Yanis Volborn. Congratulations, driver and team. A brilliant ceremonial way to end it. Keep us guessing all the way to the end. Pascal Polens is finally a race winner, but Yanis Volborn is a championship winner. Dylan Fisher recovers to 3rd. It looks like Lucas Murno is going to hang on, and has done, for 4th. Max Heyman is going to hang on now, just from the better Julius. He's had a busy afternoon. Double finish in the points for Scuderia Cesario 5th and 6th, and the better Julius 7th and 8th. Gonzalez Cativo will now come home for Costech's best finish of the season in 9th. That will keep them off the bottom and ahead of Potenza Esports. In the meantime, Reuven Meshida, what could have been for him this afternoon? The disconnect while running in 2nd, but got straight back out and has run and come home to at least finish in the top 10. David Yunt as well. Interested to see what happened this afternoon. Obviously didn't run qualifying, didn't start the race until 26 laps in, but will come across the finish line to finish 13th. Oh, and there's Pascal Polens. Is that potential donuts occurring? Oh, there they are. Both of them having a bit of a celebration. Playing in the sand.
But you must say, well done to Yanis Volborn. He has faced opposition from many different drivers in this season, and he came out on top against all of them. Max Riedmuller it was at the beginning of this season. Then there was a charge of Philip Puschke, and now later in the season it was Reuven Mesh, and there are the donuts. Not really that much space to do it, but he manages to put on a show for the fans and you viewers in the chat as well, of course. But well done to him. He maximized pretty much every result of the season. He had a few moments, but well done to Yanis, well-deserved champion. Oh my goodness, that is an optimal.
Wow. I think that is not the ideal place for donuts, I think is what we can take from that. Dylan Fisher there having a moment. And we'll go through now the provisional results of the race. are also going to get Yanis and Pascal in chat with us, but Pascal Polans wins his first race of the season, and it's a formational finish. Holland Racing Team securing the constructors, Yanis Volborn finishing second to secure the Drivers' Championship. Dylan Fisher comes home third. Lucas Murno with a good bit of work there, having to work his way up to fourth, fighting for long parts with Alexander Knezovic. Max Heyman does an incredible job to fight off both Better Julius to come home sixth, while Better Julius both finishing in the points. Gonzalez Cativo in ninth for Costec. Ruben Meshida finishes a lap down after his disconnect. Very good to see him back and returning to the track after that happening, finishing in the top 10. Mateus Machado 11th for Potenza Esports. Curtis DNFing with a late issue, a crash out of turn 3. David Yunt starting late and finishing after completing just 21 laps, but finishing ahead of Victor B, who had his own incident early on. We will get the Holland Racing Team guys in the chat with us shortly. But to second your point, Robin, the consistency of Holland Racing Team, and of Yanis Volborn in particular. Yanis Volborn only finishing outside of the points once so far this season to this point. Every other race he's been sixth or higher. In fact, he's had 1 6th, 1 5th, 1 4th, and the rest have been in the podium slots. And that is the level of consistency that has just been unmatched this season. As for Pascal Polans, I mean, he's been incredible as well. He's only finished outside of the points. In all the races he's participated in, he's missed 2 this season. He missed Monaco and Portugal. But in all the races he's participated in, he's only finished outside the points once. And that was in the opening round in Australia. And they've just been incredible. And it's a shame that obviously Optimal got up and running late to start bringing up the fight. It's a shame that, as you say, we had a couple of potential challengers fall by the wayside. But at the end of the day, you need that consistency and staying power to win the championship. And that's exactly what they've done. With us, we are just awaiting the arrival of the newly crowned champions.
Maybe they're still doing donuts there behind the trucks. We can't see it anymore. So celebrating by themselves for now. What this has also now ended is the run of 4 consecutive. Oh, there they are now.
And we are now indeed joined by Yanis Volborn and Pascal Polans. Congratulations both on the Drivers' and Constructors' Championship. An incredible afternoon and an incredible season. Yanis, we'll start with you. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, awesome.
Obviously, you knew that the race you could have sealed it this afternoon. Were you prepared for it to potentially go to the next round, or were you how aggressive were you planning on being this afternoon with Reuven, or were you prepared to let the championship run for another week?
Yeah, to be honest, if we wanted to overtake, I wouldn't have gone for any situation for me. So I would have been happy with P2 or P3 even.
Yep, exactly, and I know it's exactly the attitude I think we expected, because from here there was no need to take any silly risks, and I think you did an excellent job all season long. Pascal, congratulations on your first win of the season. The first question I have to ask is, at the end, we couldn't tell, were you holding position or were you fighting each other? Because at some points we thought, oh yeah, they're definitely holding position, but then there were a couple of fights going on. So first of all, were there team orders, or were you having a bit of a race towards the end?
Well, first of all, thank you for the congratulations. We were having a bit of fun, I guess. We had a big gap to the third car, it was just for the camera and a bit fun. So yeah, the team orders were in place because of the disconnect from Ruven. So I maybe still have a chance for the vice championship. But yeah, let's see how it goes from here.
Oh, excellent! And no, we appreciate the fight for the cameras. That was a lot of fun, especially the Mika Hakkinen, Michael Schumacher-esque pass with a back marker between you on the main straight. That was particularly a lot of fun. Yeah, Pascal, obviously you stopped a lot earlier. In terms of like deciding who stops first, is that decided beforehand, or do you just kind of make the call based on the feeling in the tires? How was that kind of decided? Because obviously it ended up allowing you to get the jump on Yanis quite considerably in the pit stops.
Well, it depends from race to race. Most of the time, we just go by the rule that whoever is in front decides when to pit. And yep, today it was the case that Yanis just wanted to stay out if there was a safety car, so he doesn't get jumped by anyone. And yeah, so today we decided it on the fly. But every other time we are always pitting the guy who's in front first. So there are no, yeah,
No.
there isn't any danger that the guy in second overtakes the first guy. But today was an exception.
Oh, great. That's great to hear. And obviously, you've had a really consistent season. I mean, both of you have. You've both been incredibly consistent. But obviously, Pascal, the amount of times you've been on the podium but not won a race, you were very close last time out as well, if not for the late penalty. Does it feel good to finally tick off the first win of your season? And hope it might not be the last either with the races remaining.
It definitely feels good. I can't can't lie about that. But I know that today Yanis would have won if he would have gone for the win. Yeah, so the first real win is still to come, I guess. But yeah, it's of course a nice feeling.
Absolutely. I don't think we can even begrudge you that win, regardless of that as well. I think you've performed incredibly well. And of course, for you, Yanis, as well, incredibly consistent. There were obviously those first couple of races where it felt like you were just kind of getting to grips with the car. And then from round 3 onwards, you've been incredibly consistent. I think the only time you've not scored points is Portugal. It's been a hell of a season for you. I suppose from here is the case of, are you already looking to next season, or are you still going to try and maximize your points for this season?
Well, I'm trying to help Pascal for the runner-up spot in the championship. So that's the target, that we get both positions. Yeah, also many people thought that our rivalry will end in like Rosberg Hamilton, but it's obviously completely the different position.
No, it's good to see. Do you think, obviously, if results had gone different, you would have both fought for the title? Was that a discussion that came up if you were both, very close towards the end, or was there always going to be we're going to have a hierarchy, or would it just be decided on the fly?
Well, our priority was the Constructors Championship, that we get the Constructors Championship for HRT. And yeah, we also wouldn't have made it without the team behind us, with Ethan and especially Carlos Martin today. Yeah,
No, that's fun.
we both would have fought, but yeah, it would be in a limit.
No, that's fantastic, and you've both done an incredible job. Yanis, congratulations on the championship. Congratulations to you both on the constructors, and Pascal, congratulations on the win. A perfect afternoon for you and HRT. Fantastic, very well done.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And that brings us to an end of this afternoon's action of both championships, but not the season. We still have 2 rounds to go and 2 excellent tracks, 2 very much traditional season closer tracks as well to bring you. Next time on the 29th of October, we head to Brazil, the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache, Interlagos to you and me before the season rounds up in Suzuka on the 12th of November. I do hope you'll join us, because even with the championships out of the way, I imagine there is still going to be plenty of racing action Optimal are still going to be pushing hard. Pascal Poland's wanting to secure the runners-up spot in the championship as well. And there's fights throughout the field for where they can finish in the drivers and the constructors championship. So I do hope you'll join us. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in Interlagos.
Goodbye.